I used to work. And what is going on? Man, I'm saying man, the devil or something else. Unable to join. Dang, we gonna get this right, man. Let's see. A little troubleshoot. Ah, man, trying to hold us down.
Huh?
You said what?
I was telling America hi. They thought they could keep us down.
Yeah.
You can shoot me, but you can't kill me.
Yeah, man. What's happening, man? How you feeling?
What's up, man?
Yeah, man. It's funny, like when you text me, I was in traffic myself.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, man. You know, Houston's LA South and all that.
Yeah, man. I was like, should I stop and get something to eat?
You went to Popeye?
I got priorities.
You went to Popeye?
I'm hungry. What's up, Jared? Happy birthday, Journey. Or belated birthday.
Whose Journey?
She played my daughter in one of the shorts that I did a while ago.
Oh.
Now she grown.
Okay.
She 18 now. Yeah, I just don't even know what to do with myself.
Yeah, man, we getting old, bro. We getting older. I'm not gonna. Man, it's funny because I'm seeing that like you know, the power of people's words is crazy. Like people be 26 and be like, oh, I'm old. I'm like, man, shut up.
Youngin.
They be 30, they be 34 time like, oh, I feel my age. I'm like, man, go get on the treadmill.
I think people want to be old though.
I don't know why. I mean, it's crazy.
Typically, you know, back in the day, there used to be some type of like respect and reverence when it came to old people. You know, back in the older days, like they'd be like, "Oh, okay, you're older. We respect our elders and stuff like that." Nowadays, people are just old fools. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of young fools too.
Old jokers. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you give something to the community instead of giving us a headache? Get out the street, old man. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for real, man. It's a trip. But it's funny because I was conversing with this young lady today. She was 21. She kept saying, "Yeah, man, I'm 21, and this and that." And I'm like, and I'm looking at her. I'm like, I'm a year away from being old enough to be your daddy. Like you were not that like old. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the word says power, life and death are in the tongue.
In the power of the tongue, yeah.
So,
but
you know, you are what you think you are. How about that?
Yeah, it's facts. She didn't want to buy it though, because she was one of these people that she hates the Bible, and you know, it's funny because I was trying to encourage her. You know, I was telling her that nothing is a coincidence. I'm like, you're here because you decided to be here. You worked hard, and I was like, you know, and God's gonna honor hard work. She said, that's what you believe. I said, no, that's what it is. She said, no, that's what you believe. I said, no, that's what it is. And then she got mad. She was like, I don't know why we have to believe in God. And I was like, you don't have to believe in Him.
Why you with her? As soon as she say that, I'd be like, all right, you good.
Yeah. I just said, you know me. I was like, you don't have to believe in anything. Like, you believe in what you want. But she was like, it's not fair that we gotta believe in some person in the sky, and you know, just because some white man wrote a book, And I was like, who told you that a white man wrote a book? You know, and she just, I don't know, man. People got to chill with ignorance and not even just ignorance, but prideful ignorance. People need to chill with that.
People ain't gonna chill. What? What? Who's not gonna chill? Come on, bro. They gonna do what they want to do. They gonna play what they want to play. They gonna say what they want to say.
They gonna do what they want to do.
That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm gonna let a fool be a fool. I'm gonna let a person think what they want to think. You know, I'm not here to argue with people. I'm here to, unless you're on a show where we're talking and discussing sports and things like that, I'm probably not gonna go back and forth with you like that. I used to back in the day. I used to spend hours arguing with people.
Yeah, man, we spent a whole road trip arguing.
I know. Hey, that's crazy. Well, we got to use our time more efficiently. Because after that trip, nobody won.
Yeah, that's funny.
We didn't even eat. We were so busy competing, we forgot to eat.
Yeah, and then we both had a headache. And
I do too, bro.
We were drained for no reason, for arguing about things that don't matter and have no bearing on our lives.
Nope.
It's crazy.
It wasn't going to pay us. It wasn't going to help us, build us up at all. But that's a lesson in this.
Yeah, that was straight up fruitless.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But anyway, you see that? You see what I posted on my stories? You know, because I tell people, like, we're the original podcasters. We used to go out in public and just record stuff.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about when we were, working out in,
at the mall.
What was that called?
At Dick's Sporting Goods, at the parks.
Yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods, yeah. Man, that was a good workout. They revoked my membership.
Yeah, man. I was looking back at some of our old videos, man. Like, even though, because remember, back then, old folks used to say we were wise, right?
Yeah.
But I look back, I'm like, man, we were dumb as hell. Like, we used to just say things. I'm like, I can't believe I said that. I was like, oh. So
probably good we didn't go viral. There's a lot of stuff we probably would have said.
Yeah, man. I was like,
I know.
But even
all the time with my Facebook memories. I'm like,
yeah, you like, ooh. You like, ooh.
like Rick James. I hit you tonight. I said that.
I was having too much fun.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah. You just fearlessly just throwing things out there on the internet just for laughs.
Yeah, it was fun though. But
what a time to be alone.
Yeah, for real, man. Like straight up. But I had posted on my story. I said we acquire a lot from young men, but there's not much infrastructure to get them where they need to be.
Agreed.
So what you think about that?
I think that that's a very accurate assessment. I think that when it comes to young men, and I'm speaking more so from my experiences and a little bit from your experiences, knowing that I know your history, there's a lot of trial and error out there, right? And I think that comes along with being, a young adult, a young kid trying to grow. And it is good to kind of learn and experience certain things because it allows you to know, okay, I shouldn't do this, or I should do this, or I should go this way, blah, blah, blah. But the price sometimes is too expensive when you're not given any guidance, when it comes to experience. I believe that you are groomed and conditioned to be great. You understand what I'm saying?
What you mean? Can you expand on that?
So, kings, great leaders, aren't just born.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Greatness, greatness is a process.
It's a process. It's a process. You have to continuously work and chip at it. Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan because it was easy for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tiger Woods didn't become Tiger Woods because it was easy for him. Ken Griffey Jr. didn't just become Ken Griffey Jr. because it was easy for him. And I usually use sports references because there's a lot of things that we can use. A lot of people can relate to. So, but growing up, I believe that there should be a little bit more guidance when it comes to showing young men, young boys how to become godly men.
Yeah.
You have to teach them the word first and foremost so they can know how to interact with everything that comes at them based on the word.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you make a lot of mistakes, that mistake can cost you. It can cost you years of your life, weeks of your life. Yeah. It can cost you your health. It can cost you money. It can cost. But see, the thing is, you can get money back. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can make money back. You know, if I get hurt, I'll heal. You know what I'm saying? But I can't get time back.
You can't get time. You can't buy time with $1 billion.
You can't with nothing. So the thing is, you have to be able to be around people who can pass that on. You know what I mean? Like I am the man who I am today because of my father, my cousin who's on here now, Kalo, because of my uncle, because of my big brother. They've all poured into me, and I'm a concoction of all of that.
Yeah.
You know? And there are things that I still wish that I had gotten that I didn't get. Because if I had gotten what I needed back then it would allow me to be even greater than I believe that I am now. But everything happens for a reason. So I'm kind of on the same page with you when it comes to
because it's like being a young man. Everybody expects you to be doing something and to just have it figured out. And you know, even at our age, even in our mid-30s, you know, we look at these kids. And these kids look at us and they think we just know everything. And then sometimes in our mind we bugging out. We be like, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like the most important thing that young men need to learn is, and I know this is a blanket statement, but like what to do with the most important things that we have, which is time, right? So when we're young, we're trading our time for money, right?
Right.
Nobody ever teaches us what money is and, you know, how it affects our environment and our lives and what it does, you know, what it does to us. And, you know, I think that's a big crime.
Right.
Because it really just teaches us how to be slaves, how to just be time slaves, you know, working and you know, it's like we spend all this time at work away from our families and even worse, away from ourselves because we drown ourselves in work and we forget who we are. We drown ourselves in jobs that we hate. And over time, it just, the stress accumulates, you know, and then it's like 5 years turns to 10 years. And you're just like, man, what am I doing with my life? You know, that's how.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that, like, that's how dudes get into midlife crises. And, you know, I think that, you know, that, and I don't want the conversation to take a turn, but this whole preaching about abstinence, you know, that's cool and all, but if you get married when you're 40 because you don't got no damn money, how does that work out? You know,
I'm gonna go back to the point you were talking about earlier, right? When you talk about you become a slave to the money, you know, to money to make sure that you know, on some good time stuff, keeping your head above water, making a way when you can't, you know,
hanging in the tail line,
hanging in a tail line, that type of stuff, right? So the problem that I realized is when you become a slave to that and you're just trying to keep your head above water, playing defense in life instead of trying to succeed and score, you get caught up in that. So much so where it doesn't give you any luxury of time. And when I say that, I mean, to expound on that, what I mean is it not only affects you, it affects your children as well. Because you're so immersed in trying to make it that you don't have the time of a luxury of time to pour into your children what they should know, right? Because you don't have it out. You don't have it figured out.
Yeah.
And I grew up with you know, going through things, and I had a little bit of resentment for certain, you know, things of my parents, whether it be like, why didn't you teach me this, or why didn't you teach me that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember vividly, like not too long ago, I had to write my father and tell him, I was hard on you because of frustration, but I understand that you were learning at the same process that I was learning, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I realized that he's a victim of his circumstance, or my mom's a victim of her circumstance
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
And my wife, Mariko, told me, she said, Anthony, you have to be the one to change the cycle. So, with that being said, I want to make sure that I'm not just teaching my children, you know, things like, okay, fruitless thing. I want to be able to teach them how to eat, you know. I want to teach them how to think for themselves, not to go with the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, I want to teach them the word. I want to be able to help them interpret. I want to help them, you know what I mean, be able to lead. I want to teach them a lot of things. And I think that, I don't think that that's very important. I don't think that that's a big thing that's talked about a lot when it comes to parenting. Yeah, you teach them how to, you teach them how to eat, but you don't teach them how to diet, I guess. Correct. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
How to invest, how to use money correctly. You know what I'm saying?
What is money? You
How to
know?
date, how to even pick a right partner. Because sometimes we just look at it like people buy cars and be like, oh, it's red. I like red. Let's get it. Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be $50,000. Oh, really? I thought it was gonna be 60. Okay, good. Let's do it. They ain't got no engine in because you didn't even check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I really want to. I think that's a big thing that our culture needs to make sure that we focus on. Equipping the younger generations for the future. You know, as adults, when I'm no
Yeah.
longer here, I've given you all these principles that I've gotten from the word, so that you can take it and go and run with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I believe that, especially as Black men, we need to make sure that we give back to the younger generation, boys and girls, because I don't want that to be excluded. Because I feel like sometimes young boys are excluded when I think a lot of women are going, "Oh, we'll give it back to the young women," and I love that, you know. But you know, there's some young men out there who don't have fathers or uncles or men that you need to give back to as well. And as a young man, I want to give back to young boys, but I want to make sure I encourage these young women as well. You know what I mean? Because these children are ours, and that's something that I always kind of notice. And I know that, you know, it kind of gets lost a bit.
I think when you help the boys, I think the girls just come along naturally. Because when men tend to do stuff, like we don't exclude the women unless we got to get down to the nitty gritty of things. But you know, women, I think that it's just that women relate. I think that women have a propensity to only relate to other women, and I think and this is just me just talking off of like my observation. Like men can relate to boys and girls.
Okay.
You know, just like it's kind of like you're dating a woman and she's going through something and you're telling her, you're like, look, I understand how you feel, right? You know what I'm saying? And with the young boy, you're like, look, I understand what you're going through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like with women, you know, I don't know if I'm explaining it right or I'm articulating my point right, but I think that women, I don't think that they're trying to be mean, or I don't think they're trying to be toxic feminists by just focusing on the girls. But I think that they're just more confident in helping girls.
I don't dismiss that. Yeah, I don't dismiss that at all.
Yeah, and with the men, you know, there's too many men out here that are hurt and are scarred, and you know, it's kind of like they're in competition with these young boys. You know, and then they'll see a young man without a father, and instead of helping him, they're like, well, "Where's his daddy?" You know, and it was like, "Well, his daddy's not here." And he's like, "Well, his mama should have chose better." And it's like, well, you can't punish the boy because because whatever his parents did. And that's how a lot of men think. And you know, that's a selfish mindset, and that's why society is the way it is. Because you know, there's not a lot of avenues for mentorship that are just like out in the open. You know what I'm saying?
And that doesn't happen because of lack of work. Like that has nothing to do like with mama, you know, pushing that on other people, right? Like that selfish mind state. That's what animals do, right? You ever see an animal male lion around other cubs? You don't mess with him.
He kills them.
He kills them. He kills them, eats them, or rapes them. That's what adult male lions do with other cubs of other tribes. That's not my lineage, and that's primitive. But as humans, you know, we have dominion, and as humans, as men of God, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to mentor the other people, pour to other people. Why do you think we got so fulfilled when we were at the Boys and Girls Club? You understand what I'm saying? We poured into young men and young women, and we encouraged them. And I think that because it's very true, it takes a village to raise a child. Now I'm so grateful for my village that I had, that I'm able to do things for other people. That's the reason why I love kids now, right? Because when I was a young kid, I wasn't hated, I wasn't shooed away, right? My uncle loved me. You know, my big cousins who were years older loved me. You know, my big brother was loving, you know what I mean? So, like, I naturally wanted to, you know, protect and give back to, like, younger kids. Like, oh, what's up, little cuz? Oh, what's up, little bro? Or whatever, you know, it may be. So, it's when it comes down to it, it just comes down to if we have to teach the younger generation the word and the love of God, because I don't believe that people know what that truly is. You know, they don't know love because they don't know God. I think that that's something that's really big in society. I think that's what's missing. That's why they're like, well, they should have did this, or they should have did that. There's not a lot of humility and love in that, you know.
And compassion.
And compassion in that statement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're like, well, yeah, they should have did it, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, now you can just condemn them forever.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do? Me?
You're like in Homer Simpson meeting, back up into the bush.
Yeah, that's exactly what it
is. Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
So, also, I posted that for us, and this is just our generation. All right, so speaking of our current generation, right? I said nobody gave us the game, like nobody. And we graduated from college. We discussed this. We graduated from college at a time where we were in a recession. So, you know, all these jobs that we were supposed to get, all these high-paying jobs, you know, they kind of weren't there. So it's like a lot of us were confused and didn't really know what to do. Yeah, we were lost. You know, I know a guy that had an electrical engineering degree, and you know he got depressed because he couldn't find a job. So, you know, it's like, where does that leave us? It's like now, you know, now we're getting into the backside of our 30s and 40s, and you know, we're having families and all that stuff like that. But it's like, what the lessons that we needed to learn from that time, what they learned was did we take our due diligence to extract the wisdom from those experiences that we can pass down? Because for me, I know this for me, like when I have children, I already have a plan for them. They're going to develop skills in their early, in like their preteens. So I'm gonna get them like a physical skill, and then when they become like 14 and 15, then we're gonna develop their mental acuity. You know, like with soft skills and like, you know, tech skills and stuff like that. Because when you're in college, you know, you go to college, and I don't necessarily know if I want my children to go to college, but I have to build something now for them to walk into. But you know, take us for instance, if they follow the paradigm that we follow, when you go to college, you're in college to get a white collar job, right? But while you're in college, there's a lot of blue collar opportunities you can use to fund your education. Like cutting hair or fixing cars and stuff like that, or just building stuff.
Yeah.
So I think every man needs a skill with his hands. As long as you have your hands and your brain, you're able to make money, but you have to train them. You have to train both of them. And we just get into a state in life to where we dig ourselves into these holes, and then we don't have time to train ourselves anymore because we're stressed from life and all that stuff, and it's like, okay, I don't have time to invest in myself anymore. So what say you?
I mean, I think at that point, see, and that's where I will argue against that. I think you always have time, but you got to make it. And I think that that's something that I've been forced to do by moving to California. I had to learn these things.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to cut hair. I wasn't. You know what haircuts go for out here?
Probably like what they go for out here now. They $40 now.
I wish somebody was doing $40. $40 is stuff that they don't even do no more. They got them going for like up to $80 for a haircut. For a haircut.
Man.
I said, man, I'll do it for $20. You know?
Are people paying it?
Yeah. Because when it's like people are so it's like entertainment, right? I don't care how bad the reception is. If it's a good movie out there, they're gonna be like, man, I'm gonna find some money to go see this movie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna find a way to listen to the music. I'm gonna find a way to do something, right? So I think that that's the mentality we have to have, and I think that that's something that has to shift in our society. That's what I kind of like make sure that I preach that to people. Always better yourself in one way or another, right? I learned how to cut hair after 25. I was like 26, 7. No, I was about 27, 28 when I started learning. I ain't great at it, but I'm good enough to get by when people ain't like, damn, what happened to you? You know what I mean? They'll go by, they won't think nothing of it. And if I point it out, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I see that. You know? Yeah. But my uncle, he taught me about cars a long time ago, but it was all in spurts. And now I had to put that pen to paper so that when I'm out here, a mechanic's not ripping me off. Yeah. And those things will last. My brother cut hair his whole life, so he gave me tips how to cut hair. My uncle gave me, that goes back to the village I was talking about earlier. Yeah. They gave me these skills that I could use as a man, regardless of my environment, regardless of where I am financially, regardless of where I am and what I can do to pass down to anybody else or help somebody else. So I think that that's something that we should all make sure that we do. We have to learn how to even invest in, right? I'm trying to research and gain knowledge when it comes to investing and learning how to use money better than what I used to use, how I used to use money. So, yeah, man, I think that when I came out of college, it was more so survival. You're trying to figure out, a lot of us went and got survival jobs until everything got better, right? Yeah. And when you use a couple of those years, you're like, well, man, I'm already here. Do I drop this and go look for my career? I'm like, man, I got rent due. I ain't got time to be out there. It's the way that we think. People think that you have less time to. You're up at 26, like you said earlier. I'm 26. I don't have time to go back and look for a career. I'm 26. You're 26, bro. Now look at it. 26. Yeah. You're like, oh, okay. Maybe I guess I could go back to because now you're like, what you got to lose? So the restraints that people tend to put on themselves, I try to make sure that I preach against that. Don't hurt yourself. You know what I mean? Don't move and don't act and move in fear. Move with purpose, and you'll be prosperous. You know what I mean? Yeah. Move when God tells you to move. Yeah, you're gonna be prosperous. You can't be moving scared.
Yeah, don't have a scarcity mindset. But I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, that's the mindset that tends to sink in when you find yourself in these situations, because you're like, man, I don't have time. Like, I gotta go to work, and then I'm tired after work. So it's man, like, and this is the thing about being a young man. It's like everybody expects you to do something. Like I talked to
Yeah.
I talked to two young ladies today. They're like, I don't want to do anything, and nobody's gonna chastise them for it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, well, at the end of the day, it's hard because I'm like, it's hard for me to say. When it comes to men, I'm going to tell a young man, you got to do something. I'm gonna tell him, you got to do something.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
I'm ready to.
you know, I'm gonna tell them. I'll be like, man, what you doing? Put your hands on something, dog.
Something. Do something.
Yeah.
Right? And women can do that if they want to, right? Women like, I don't want to do nothing. You can do that if you want to. But the problem is, the kids that the young men that I try to help mold, and the ones that I'm telling, I'm gonna tell them to look for a helpmate that can contribute.
Yeah.
And them not doing nothing is not something that can contribute. But she's fine, dog. She gonna be fine. She gonna be fine for how long? Let's just say she get fine to be 50. How is she gonna contribute to the relationship? So you can sit on your butt if you want to and not do nothing.
Somebody gonna bail her out, bro.
But here's the thing: for how long? It's always somebody.
Until they run out of money. Until they
run out, and then she'll never be happy. Either way, the point was gonna be like, hey, bro, look for something that's not that. If she's just sitting on her butt, just waiting for you to do stuff, you don't need to be with that.
Yeah.
Because she can't help you. Yeah. She can't contribute to what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? She can't help you. And I'm not saying help in the sense where like you 50-50. I'm talking about if I got something going and I got a vision and I just need you to do this for me, she can do that because she has a skill.
Yeah.
She can encourage you.
Exactly.
She has intelligence.
Yeah.
You know.
I like
spiritually mature.
I like women with skills, bro.
I do too. I appreciate it. I'm telling you. My wife, I'm telling you, she a hustler.
Yeah.
She work. She work out. She cook. She do all that.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why she is where she is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not an accident that you know, like, fortunate enough for me, I'm the one that married you, but you gonna get married regardless.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. Like, you have to be the best. I don't want to say product. You have to be the best version of yourself. And I think that that's something that a lot of people lack. They don't realize that you got to be the best version of yourself so that you can find a helpmate that is just as
adequate.
So y'all can be a power couple that people tend to say now. You know what I mean?
Even when the term helpmate was like introduced, it says a helpmate that is adequate for him. You know what I'm saying? So
helpmate.
Yeah, man.
So after look, if she help you, y'all can mate.
Yeah, a lot of people skip that part. A lot of people skip that part. I know. I'm just
yeah.
I'm just playing, guys. Anyway, so yeah, that brings us to our main topic. All right, so a couple months ago, I was leading something. I was leading an endeavor that I had going on, and there was people that were supposed to be giving me the respect that I commanded with my presence and what I demanded, with my words, and it was not happening, and it was causing things to drag, and then when I sent them away, when they all left, I was tired. I was like, who the hell what kind of like megalomaniac, ego-driven person would want to be a leader of people? Because now that we're grown and we're cast in leadership positions, sometimes just by default, because, you see that, okay, if you don't get in front of this train is going to crash, but you just like, man, sometimes you just like, man, can somebody else do it? I just want to chill. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the burden of leadership. You got to take more crap from people. You have to do way more. You have to have way more endurance. gotta be doing the things that you know people don't want to do, that you don't want to do, but you know that okay, like if I don't do this, then it's not gonna get done. For instance, man, Michael Jordan, right? The Last Dance, when he was saying that, look, I know I look like a tyrant, but you know, I want to take these guys with me. I want to win, but I want them to win with me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you got people like Scottie Pippen saying, "Yeah, Michael Jordan was a bad leader. You know, he used to cuss us out and used to make me cry and all that shit like that." You know, but you know, look at people always look at the glory that you get, but they don't see the process. They don't see the grind. They don't see you dragging people along that you know that otherwise would just be coasting and stuff. They don't see that you gotta put up with people talking back and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know why anybody would want to be a leader. Like, what do you think?
Well, I believe in life there's a balance.
Yeah.
That's often not talked about. There's
Yeah.
always going to be a balance. But society only wants to tell you about the cute things.
Yeah.
Right? There's always going to people, whether it be leadership, whether it be beauty, whether it be athletics, whether it be anything, they only want the benefit, but they don't want the responsibility or the work that comes with it. You know, there's a thing called, you know, what people say, oh, there's, you know, pretty privilege, right?
Yeah.
You know, pretty people get, we get free fries at the drive-thru, or people stop when you go through so you can go by, and you know, they tend to help you out more, and that's the benefit. But you know, the burden of the sacrifice that comes with it is you're gonna get harassed. You know, you got mud ducks who want to come holler at you all the time that you may not like, that are mean and rude. All right, gotta get your number. Hey, look, hey, let me get your, you can't even get gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't even, you know, or, you know, as a celebrity, people want all the fame that comes with it, so they realize that they can't go out and go to the grocery store without getting harassed and having 50 million pictures taken, or, you know, people lying on you. And when it comes to leadership, everybody wants the glory that they have. Like, you know, when like a quarter, and I tend to always go back to sports. But typically, the quarterback gets all the praise.
Yeah.
Right? You don't talk about the linemen. You hardly talk about the running back. You know, tight ends, defense. You know, the kicker, the special teams. You talk about the quarterback. You know, Tom Brady. If it was up to ESPN, Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls by himself. He played offense, defense, and he kicked that. You know.
Yeah.
But with all that glory also comes a lot of blame and responsibility.
Yep.
Right? So I'm gonna go back to as a husband and the head of the household, right? You know, even as a man, there tends to be a lot of talk in society where like, oh, men get all this privilege, and rightfully so, men do get privilege, and I'm not going to argue with that. But there's also a lot of responsibility that men have that's not spoken about. There's a lot of requirements that is not spoken about. Even as a leader, there are a lot of times, whether it be my household or my family, I believe that I was chosen to lead. I believe that. And to be honest, a lot of times I'd be like, man, I don't even want to do this. I'm like, I'll just rather just chill. Do what you want to do. But that's not what God said. That's not the position that God put me in. You know, if I'm a leader, I have to have the hard conversations, right? I have to sacrifice being light all the time. I have to sacrifice my comfort. I have to sacrifice my time. And I do that for the betterment and the result, the betterment of the team and the result. So God tells me, Anthony, you got to say this. And my mind, sometimes I think, man, that may hurt her feelings, or that may hurt his feelings, or man, that may cause a storm. That's leaning on my own understanding and thinking that my voice is louder than God's and it's better than God, and it's not. As a leader, your job is to succeed and to prosper and to get things done. Sometimes it's going to be liked, sometimes it's going to be resented. Sometimes you're going to be hated. Look what you say about Michael Jordan. People sometimes will blame you, and they may envy you because you get the credit, not realizing that behind closed doors, you were getting a whole bunch of hell, going through hell trying to make sure that you did your part, even picking up the slack that other people don't have. So the burden of a leader usually isn't spoken about. So when people say they want to be a leader, I say you better make sure you know what you're talking about. Because a lot comes with that position.
Yeah. And a
lot of people,
a lot is expected out of you too.
Right.
That a lot of people are not ready for. You know,
that
whole thing about, you know, the whole marriage thing, she won't submit. I'm like, are you worth submitted to? Are you worthy of submission?
Right.
You know, that's the thing. You know, a lot of people don't want to be held accountable.
Right.
You know, because it's like
both sides.
Yeah, but we talking about the leaders though.
Yeah.
We're talking about the leaders. You have to lead by example at all times, and that's the thing I hate, bro. I hate people looking at me. I hate.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Like I'm just like, what are you looking at?
I've been like, hey. I said I don't mind. Yeah, get a look. Right in your face.
You're like, take a picture, like on rush hour.
Take some.
Yeah, nah, I don't
I get what you're saying though. I get it's a different type of look. It's not just it's just not looking, perceiving like, oh, okay, there goes. Oh, it's more so looking at you. So like, well, so what you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like something, bro. What you gonna do? I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. It's like they're looking at you to pick you apart, to find something to like ridicule. And you just like, yo, man, go bother somebody else. But hey, heavy is the head.
Territory.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes they need admiration. You're just like, man, like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, heavy is the head.
But you know, it's funny because having people look up to you. You know, everybody wants to be admired, but man, you know, you have to be on your P's and Q's. You know, because some people take it to the extreme where they hang on to every word you say, and they do it like literally. They're like, you know, you know, it's like sports players, like athletes. They're like, oh, my favorite athlete wears his hat backwards every Wednesday, so I'm gonna do the same because it's gonna make me just like him. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. But
secret stuff.
Yeah. But you know, I think that it's a mantle that men have to you know take, because when you don't lead, when you fail to assume your position, all things fall apart and things will crumble.
Yeah. And why do you think there's so many sayings that come from that? They say cut off the head of the snake.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because that head is what's gonna keep everything functioning. You cut that head of the snake, everything crumbles. All right. I know people wasn't looking for church today, but we're gonna look in Luke 12:48, it says, for unto whom much is given, of
much
him
is required.
Much shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask more. Right? Nobody's depending on the gesture to get the empire, the kingdom together.
Hold up. You ladies need to know that.
Yeah.
While you looking for these sugar daddies.
This is true.
Yep.
That's the truth. You know, ain't nothing in life free.
Nah. He gonna ask for payment. He gonna ask for payment some way, somehow, with interest. But
payday.
But you know, yeah, man.
The problem when dudes start scratching their chest. You know what time it is. But seriously, you know, as head, and I say as the head of the household or whatever, you know, as a leader, a lot is going to be demanded of you and required of you. So people say, well, men get all this privilege and stuff like that, as they should. They should. Because there's a lot required when it comes to men.
Yeah.
In a relationship, you know, or society, right? It's society. And I'm not here to argue right or wrong and fair and unfair. Life ain't fair, man. It ain't. It's not going to be fair. It's never going to be fair, right? You can go back to, it's a new day and da-da-da. I don't care what kind of day it is. It's 2023, right? A kid walks around and, oh, think about this. I'll put it just like this. Like, as much as I'm a big kid at heart. I coach young kids. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club. There's a layer that I have to put between me and the children, no matter what, no matter how innocent I am, because I understand a man is typically seen as, you know, a threat.
Yeah.
Right? When we were at the Boys and Girls Club, the girls could go, oh, yeah, they can add me on Facebook. Yeah, cool. Blah, 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 blah. I was never like, nah, y'all can't.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then usually people ain't going to trip. Apparently, oh, that's their teacher. That's their teacher. What's your teacher name? Mrs. White. Okay, yeah. What's his name? Mr. Brown. What you doing having Mr. Brown on your Facebook? What the teacher was unfriend him, you know. Yeah. So I say all that to say, as men, as leaders, there's going to be a lot required of you. So I think that men just sit on their butt and they want and some men do, but those aren't the ones that you respect. You don't get respect just because you're a man.
No.
As a leader, as an upstanding male, as a man, not just a male, as a man, someone who protects, someone who provides, someone who's caring, who is tough and tender, somebody who makes sure that they have love inside of them and they care about the betterment of you and you guys as a couple, who make tough decisions, who sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's okay to make that man a sandwich. Hey, you can say what you want. That's real small. That's really small. Because the real man will sacrifice and give his time, his life, his money to make sure that you are comfortable and make sure you get what you need. Because, like it says, too much is given, much is required. Title, you got a lot to do.
Yeah.
You got a lot to do. The king has a lot to do. The jester just got to make somebody laugh.
Yeah.
That's it. Make somebody laugh. That's it. Dance. That's it. Or night. All they got to do is protect. That's it. But the king has to hire. He has to create laws. He has to accept laws. He has to create new laws. He has to make sure people are good. He got to make sure when it's wartime, they're going to come to him.
You have to judge matters.
Exactly.
You have to hear people complain.
And like I said, I always bring the word into it because it's so prevalent in my life. But when it comes to the word, that's what allows people to be great leaders.
Yeah.
Those principles give you the blueprint of what a great leader is. Jesus Christ was a phenomenal. He is the epitome of what a leader is.
Yeah.
Sacrificed. He led. He stood up against unrighteousness.
Yeah.
He spoke about things that were uncomfortable because of the betterment of those people. They didn't have to like it. A lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah.
Who do you think he is?
Yeah.
Right? And I've gotten there as a leader. You think you know everything. You think look, I'm not here to argue. And great leadership isn't about force.
Yeah. It's inspiration.
It's inspiration. Follow me, you know. Man, I just heard a great song, and I know I'm going from place to place, but it was a Juvenile song called "Follow Me Now."
Man, if you want it on,
yeah. Man, sorry, but that's what I'm saying. Everything's a choice.
Yeah.
But that leader is going to be, he's going to be held accountable right? If we prosper,
Mm.
it's because of you. Like Major
Yeah.
Payne said. What did he say to Cadet Alex? You
I
remember?
forgot. I forgot.
It says, if you win, it's because you have led them there. But if they fail, it's because you have failed them. You remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Because he made him a leader.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leaders step up to the occasion. They
Yeah.
do what they're supposed to do,
Yeah.
right? And that person deserves reference. That person deserves, how can I assist? Because once you get a real good leader, you're gonna want to do everything that it is in your power to make sure that they're comfortable and that they can do their job.
Yeah. You're gonna submit yourself to them.
Exactly. Because
Push
they're worthy.
them forward. It's gonna push them forward to the goal. And that's what people don't get. So with that said, a leader has to cast off his ego. I did a video on ego last week, and ego means I, right? How do ego is our image of ourselves, right? So how do I feel?
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm tall. I'm cool. So that's why when, let's say you talk to a girl, right? And she shoots you down, your ego is hurt because you don't feel what? You don't feel cool anymore. You don't feel good enough. You're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not cool enough. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with I was wrong about myself. You know what I'm saying? So you have to cast your ego aside because everybody's just not going to follow you. And you all know these feelings hurt a lot, but it ain't about you. That's what a leader has to understand.
That's another thing that I believe that young men should be taught, especially young black men. I say young black men because I relate to them a lot, because that's what I was, and I am. But emotional maturity, you know what I mean?
Man.
Emotional maturity. That's a big thing that I believe that should be taught, and I think that it's something that should be passed down. But a lot of our elders haven't been healed from their traumas. So I encourage everybody out there to heal from their traumas and to continue to acknowledge your feelings before you lash out and affect other people by what you feel.
Yeah.
Like I said, ego. Because you can't put your ego aside if you're not emotionally mature. You're going to be thinking about what you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that can affect and hinder your leadership tenure. It can affect it. It can break trust because your ego goes hurt. You're gonna be like, man, go fold some towels.
Yeah.
You ain't fold no towels, man. I ain't here for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now you're starting to speak out arbitrarily. You're just speaking out of emotion and out of ego.
You're on a power trip.
You're on a power trip, and that's how things get. That's how teams crumble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When there's always going to be an element of jealousy. Typically around a lot. Usually when you're a leader, you're going to feel it in some shape or form.
Yeah.
And if you put your ego aside, you just have to acknowledge that. Look, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm gonna keep doing the best that I can. And you want to reassure those people that it's for the team. It's not for me. Yeah. Man, you just doing it because you want to be all in the video, dancing. No, it's not about that.
No, I want to be all in the bed, sleeping. That's what I want to be doing. Shoot. You gotta wake up early.
If you're egotistical, your feelings may get hurt, even if you don't mean to do it. Your feelings are gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be like, "No, I ain't doing all that," and you get defensive, and then that trust is broken because instead of loving that person out of the fear of being hidden in the background, you're gonna fill them with love and reassure them that everything that I'm doing is for us. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Personally, I would be fine without the spotlight. I'd be fine without any of that. And if you do want the spotlight and none of that, that's cool too. As long as you tell people, like, look, I ain't mad. Like me, I say it all the time. Like, look, I ain't mad at a couple people want to take some pictures. Look at it. He created it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that never eclipses the goal, which is the team's prosperity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. You're right about that, bro.
Yeah. Because like confidence with a leader is everything. If you lose your confidence to lead, man, you toast. That's why a leader has to lean on God.
Yep.
If you don't lean, if God is not your strength as a leader, you ain't gonna make it.
No,
All right.
I mean,
You said what?
no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Okay, so we talked about the spoils of victory, right? So the price of success, we've already talked about that. I'm gonna say this, right? And I really don't, I don't mind the backlash I might get, but it is what it is, bro. I'm ready to die, and I'm willing to die for what I want to be and the life that I want. I'm willing to break. I'm willing to this version of me. I'm willing to let it die. Because it's like if you don't like the life you live, and I'm not saying I don't like the life I live. I'm just saying like I got to preface that because we on the internet. Anything can be taken out of context, right? But for a lot of people that hate the life they live, what price are they willing to pay for that success that they so so much they desire? You know what I'm saying? I forgot the word vehemently. I don't know.
Vehemently?
Yeah. I got my brain tired. But it's like what price are you willing to pay? Are you willing to take those fiery darts? Are you willing to lose sleep? Are you willing to pass out? It's kind of like the clip on The Last Dance when they're running suicides. Michael Jordan is the one. He's first. He's beating everybody. And I don't know about you, but every team that I've ever been on, the quote unquote star player or the player that's favored by the coach, always lagging on behind, always lagging when we're doing like the grit work. Like when we're in the weight room and we're doing sprints and stuff like that. I was always the one busting my tail because I wanted to be the best, right? And it's not that I wanted favor. I just knew where I wanted to go. Like Michael Jordan, he had the favor. He had favor. He could have just coasted like all these current NBA stars do. But instead he was up in front leading the troops, sacrificing. Like sometimes when you're running so hard, you get like this burn in your chest, like right here. You know what I'm saying? Like it burns like right there. Man, that takes a lot of focus. That takes a lot of denying yourself. Your bodies be like, I'm tired, and your minds are like, hey, fight the pain, fight the pain. That requires a lot, and a lot of people are just not willing to do that. So that's why I say like I'm ready to die, bro, and I'm willing to die because I have goals. I've told you about my goals, man. We talk all the time, but these goals that I have, I'm willing to die for them, bro. Like straight up.
Yeah. When it comes to the price of success, it has to be paid. You're going to sacrifice. That's a cost. You're gonna have to sacrifice time. You're gonna have to sacrifice comfort. You're gonna have to sacrifice likability. Because think about it. When you see and we'll speak about The Last Dance since that's what you're talking about. A lot of people were like, "Oh, he was an asshole." Yeah, he wasn't like, "Oh, he's arrogant. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that." But one of the team members was like, "Yeah, he was that, but he had to be. We wouldn't have been what we were if it wasn't for him doing that." And that was a lack of pride speaking. Yeah. That was acknowledging that it was tough, but it got us there.
Yeah.
So as a leader, you have to do what's righteous at all costs. Sometimes people are going to be upset with you. Sometimes people are going to really, really, really dislike you. Sometimes people are going to look at you differently. And you can't get so caught up in the moment that you don't see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know, I've sacrificed my image sometimes to make a decision that's righteous. I had to make a righteous choice despite how it made me look, because I understood that at the end of the day, it's what's best. God says, make that choice, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that choice.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, not even just once or twice, a lot of times it's uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. Cause you don't want to hear
uncomfortable.
it. You don't want to hear it.
Not even just that. They don't want to hear it. The people that I'm leading don't want to hear it. And I'm like, I'd rather just not say nothing. I'd rather just not say anything and let it just blow over. But that's not the leader that I believe that God has made me to be.
Yeah, he ain't called you to be anyway. Yeah, he called you to be something. He called you to be like
to be great, right? And not even just me. He called me to lead something great, because it's bigger than me, right? Nobody's bigger than the team. Nobody's bigger than God's vision. Nobody is bigger than the promise. So I got to do what I have to do. Everybody has a role to play. So when I say something and I'm very unforgiving about what I need that person to do as they're following me, just if you're feeling like, oh man, he's doing something, he's making me do something I don't like to do. If I'm asking you to do something like that, I probably already did 5 to 10 things that I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Already. Now you won't ever see it. I won't really talk about all the sacrifices that I did this, and that's not something that a good leader's gonna do.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm still trying to polish my leadership skills, but the price of success it's great, you know.
And it's a cost many are willing to pay.
You gotta be, but you gotta think about what you want. Do you want to be like the mediocre? Okay, can you take temporary hatred and get to a place of victory, and then people look back and see, oh, that's why we were doing it.
Yeah.
I go through it all the time in life. Sometimes I don't understand why I'm going through what I'm going through in my life, my career, whatever. Yeah. Even an argument in my relationship, whatever it may be. I don't know what, an argument in my family, argument in, with my friends. But I do understand that there's a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And I'm faithful to the grind because it's a righteous grind.
Yeah.
And I believe I have more faith in God than my own senses. I have to. I do. So no matter what it looks like, it can look like a storm. I'm like, yeah, well, we got to go that way.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said, go that way, I'm going through it. He said, take your shoes off. I'm taking my shoes off. I'm going through that storm. Barefoot. No ifs, ands, or buts, because that's what a leader does. Leader does what's necessary. And a godly leader does what's necessary, is righteous.
Yeah. Facts. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I keep telling people, I keep telling young ladies, I'm like, if he does not walk with God, he's not worthy. He's not capable of leading. That's just what it is. Because even as a leader, you're following somebody. We're people. We're man. We're finite. We don't understand everything. So just the same way that we follow God and we don't understand everything that he's seeing, and we don't understand where he's trying to take us, that's the same kind of obedience and respect that the position commands. Which leads me to something that's going to be controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Not you.
Hey,
you controversial?
Hey, let it fall where it fall, right? So I was reading the other day, and I think a lot, and then I realized, an aspect of marriage, and when a woman says she wants to be married, when a woman says that she wants to be married, that means that she's willing to be ruled over.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what marriage, that's the picture that's painted, right? It says that Christ is the head of the body, right? Christ is the king, of a people. So Christ is ruling over the body. Likewise,
Right.
that's why we call him Lord. It's like they called King David Lord because they were his subjects. He was ruling over them. They was in subjection to him and his will and his vision and all that stuff like that. And there were consequences when you didn't follow. It's like I don't know if you know the story of Michaela, David's first wife. He came back from battle. He was dancing and she was hating on him. And then he never slept with her again till she died. And there was no divorce.
That's what happens when you don't do what daddy say.
No, for real though. It's like that, and I think that's what a lot of women don't understand. When you say you want a man to marry you, you're saying you don't realize what you're saying, but you're saying that you're willing to let this man rule over you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the picture that's painted. When Abraham, it's even in the Bible, when it speaks highly of Sarah, when she called Abraham Lord, she was willing to submit to him. She was willing to let him rule over her. And that's and it's funny that it's not a coincidence. Nothing's a coincidence, but it's crazy that this is like one of the last things that we talked about, because the whole other time we talked about the burden of leadership and how sometimes it really sucks to be the leader, right? And all the things that you have to take, but also the requirements that you have to fulfill before you're worthy of being a leader. But now it's like the people that you're leading, they don't understand that. But when they say that they want you to lead them, they got to understand exactly what they're saying.
Yeah. You got to read the fine print.
Yeah.
Usually, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to the term, both as a husband and a wife, there's a word that people tend to skip over when they say that they want to be that, and that word is humility, right? You got to be humble.
Man.
Be humble, because in the word it says God resists the proud and he gives grace to the humble.
So he gives much grace to the humble.
Right? Much grace to the humble. So as a wife, as a husband, I think that it kind of all this ties back in, because earlier we talked about the responsibility of healing from our traumas. And I believe that with a lot of women have submitted to unworthy men, and they were burned.
Bad.
Right? Burned badly because they weren't worthy to be submitted to in the first place.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they didn't know, and it goes back to not only men being taught by boys getting taught by men how to be leaders, but young women being taught by older women how to select a man worthy of, marrying. But their responsibility is to heal from that and understand what a true leader looks like. But it takes humility to be able to see that. You think you know everything. If you think that everything that you say is true and everything you say is right, and everybody's out to get you, words are powerful. And that can wreck your chances.
Yeah.
But if you want to find a husband worthy of being submitted to, you also have to understand that when you're with a man of quality, a man that's worthy to be submitted to, that's submitting to the principles of God, you're going to love it there. It may be uncomfortable, but once you do it, you're like, I kind of like it. I don't have to do all that. I don't have to be this super masculine person. I don't have to fight all these battles. You don't have to. You don't have to do that. Because a real man, a real husband, he'll make sure that you're comfortable. But you have to be, he has to be worthy to be submitted to, but you have to trust him and relinquish control.
Yeah, that's the word right there. You got to relinquish.
And once you relinquish control, you realize, okay, he said he's going to take care of it. I have to. And there's so much peace with that I don't think people are understanding. That's an untapped thing right there. Because that peace that you have from being a humble child of God is unmatched. It's unparalleled. It's unparalleled. Because you found somebody that's willing to lead you, or someone that's willing to follow you, and you get to a place of tranquility, a place of prosperity. God's going to bless that. He's going to bless that.
Yeah.
It takes humility and it takes righteousness. So for those out there who have been hurt before, have faith in God, not in man. And if he submits to the principles of God, and he's not only saying that, yeah, man, I love God. Those girls who got on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if he continues to show you that I'm following the principle. I ain't saying perfect now. Don't do that, because ain't nobody perfect.
Ain't no perfection. There ain't no.
There's no perfection. All we can do is just attempt to be the best versions that we can be, and then reprove in love. You know what? You kind of get a little off track. So sometimes men, we need to watch how harsh we come at people. Women, you need to watch how harsh you come at your man.
Yeah.
But there has to be love in the conversation. The motivation has to be loving. I have to tell you something loving. I need you to do this for us. I need you to go do that for me.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, you're coming at me a little tough. I don't really receive that well. Okay, all right. And you have to be humble to at least listen to the criticism. All right, how can I communicate with her what she understands? I ain't saying walking on eggshells now. So take this with a grain of salt, because everything ain't gonna be wrapped up and put a bow on top of it.
Nah, sometimes you don't have time. Sometimes you got to look. You have to
trust that man.
You should do this.
Right. If you don't trust that leader, don't listen. Why are you even wasting your time? Go find somebody worthy of being listened. You can listen to.
Yeah.
And if she won't listen as a leader, don't waste your time. I'm not trying to beg you to listen to me, because I know that I love you. I know that I'm trying to do the best for us. And if I gotta beg you to do that, I'm good. You gonna see. You gonna see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have to remove myself. I'm not gonna force you to do nothing. Everything is a choice. And everything I'm saying to you is loving, is love motivated. Even if it sounds harsh, you have to trust that this person is being loving. And you can only trust that if their principles are in alignment with God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it's so important for a man to have integrity, not being a hypocrite. Because once a woman sees that a man is a hypocrite, it's gonna be hard for her to follow him. It's gonna be hard, because I mean, you only follow people that you trust,
right?
Because you don't always know where they're taking you. But
yeah,
that just this thing about manhood. I think we do a disservice to our young men when we ignore them for 18 years and then we just expect them to be magically wake up on their 18th birthday. You're a man now. Nah, it don't work like that. And that's why I keep telling my younger cousin. He's 14. I'll keep telling him, I'm like, you're not a child. You're a young man. And I expect something of you. So even though I'm hard on him, I'm already setting the bar high, because everybody just treats him like a kid. Everybody expects him to be a foolish child. And I'm just like, no, you're not a child. There are consequences to your actions. I'm like, you're stronger than a grown woman. You can hurt somebody if you get out of line, you know? So
Yeah.
there, you gotta get it in check, and that's why, even when I come down hard on him, I told him the other day, I told him to get the hell out of my face. So
Right.
I saw him the other day, and I pulled him aside. I'm like, look, man. I was a kid one time. I was 14. I know, like, I know you like the ladies. I like them too. I'm like, everything you thought, I done thought. Everything you did, I done did, and I did it better. But just be mindful of the situation. I'm like, you have to be respectful. You have to respect your mom's house. You can't do that stuff in front of your mom. I'm like, truly, honestly, your mom knows deep down inside that you're doing things that she probably doesn't approve of, but she can't prove it. And it's like the water boy said, well, mama don't know, can't hurt her. You know what I'm saying?
That's where that community comes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you reproving him is that community. He needs other men around him also, to be like, hey, bro, what you doing? Hey, straighten up, tighten up. I do that with my little cousins. I do that with whoever I can, and I have it done to me. I've had it done to me. Like my brother be like, hey, man, what you doing, man? You can't be doing that. I'm like, oh, but it's fun. He be like, no, man, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Cousin, uncle. I'm like, man, what you do that for, man? You can't do. I'm like, oh, my bad, my bad. And that kind of helps you, steers you in the right direction. Because sometimes we veer off because we're all children at heart. We're trying to figure out our way in this life.
Yeah, and that's why. Oh, my bad, man. Now I'm saying that's why it's so important that as a man, with your voice, when you come down firmly, but you don't crush them. You build them back up because you want them to come to you when they need help. You want them to, because nobody wants to be condemned. Even because people know they screw up. They don't want to be condemned. They're like, oh man, I don't want to go to cousin O because I already screwed up and he's gonna tell me I screwed up even more. Like, nah. So it's as men, we have to be self-aware. We have to be aware of our stature, and our voice means something to these people that look up to us. So and a lot of men don't understand that. Even with their wives, it's important for a man to constantly encourage and build up his wife because you want her to be confident in who she is when you're not looking, because this world will test your character, and if you're not fortified, if you're not solid in who you are, every little thing's gonna break you, and that's not good for a relationship. So as a man, you have to set that tone. You have to build her up. You have to exalt her.
Yep.
You can't.
Make it easier for her to trust you, and that'll be easier for her to follow you. That needs to always be a balance. Always. The things that help me, the things that when people come down on me, it helped me when they were like, but you'll get it though. You messed up on that play. Right, I did. But you're gonna get it. Go out there and try it again. That helps. That's a balance. That's encouragement and reproof. Did I get it right? No, you didn't. And it hurts. But it's letting you know that I need to push harder. And him telling me or her telling me that you're going to get it. Just keep trying. You've done better than what you did, but you're not there yet. There needs to be a balance between criticism and encouragement. And that's what makes great leaders. The ones who understand that balance.
Yeah, would you call it criticism or chastisement?
That's a good question. Depends on the day.
I mean, I guess they're just synonyms. I guess both of them will work, but that's and that's the thing. Like that's the thing about like leadership. Like you said, you have to have that balance. And man, it's just we don't see young men being trained in the manner that they're supposed to. And you know, it's costing them decades off their life. You know, I think about if I had learned what I know. I was looking at our videos from 2009 and 2010, and I was like, if somebody as confident and bold as we were, if somebody pulled us aside and be like, hey, look, I like what you got going on, but you need to try it like this. And if you be wise in, you know, your steps, you're going to get to where you are a lot faster. Look at me, I got there, you know. So, you know, I think young men are not getting that. And even just looking at that, you know, I was looking at the things we were saying. I was like, ooh. But I see why the ladies liked us so much, because we were bold and we were confident. Even though I can say this with me, even though some of that confidence was all just bravado to make me believe that I was that dude, because nobody ever told me that I was. So I had to say it so I can hear it and believe it. And when I believed it, I walked it. I walked like I was. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like, and it's funny because I even looking at the videos, I was looking at how some of the females responded to me. I'm like, wait a minute, she was choosing, and I didn't even realize it at the time. Cause I was so like focused on me, you know. Anyway, that's besides the point. But young men need to be affirmed by men. Somebody needs to tell these young men, you're like, hey man, you don't have to beat your chest all the time. Just do the job, and the job will beat your chest for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, we got you got anything else to say to add?
No. The only thing I would conclude with saying, now that we know that that's something that we need to do for the young men, I challenge everybody who has watched or will watch to be the best version of themselves, so they can help the next generation of men and next generation of women be a better versions of themselves. Pour into them, encourage them, reprove them for their betterment.
Yeah.
And that's what I would conclude with.
Okay, so we got let me see how many viewers we got. So we got one viewer. Just call me Cece. Anybody got any questions before we wrap up?
All them viewers, easy people, easy.
That's all good. I mean, hey, we appreciate everybody that, you know, that took a peek and listened. You know, we appreciate that. You know, because we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't think it could help people. But, you know, I was thinking today, I was like, man, I really need to start helping young people again. You know, because it's funny, because like that's when I really felt like I was moving forward in life, when I was sharing my gifts and all that. Even though I was rough, I was jagged in some of my tactics and my approach. Yes, me. Yeah, but anyway, it's Friday night. We appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all soon. And I appreciate you rocking with me.
Yes, sir, brother. I appreciate you for having me. It's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's an honor. It's my honor. You know, for sure.
Well, before you get loose, if anybody else out there wants to give me a tip, Cash App is no, I'm just kidding.
Nah, for real. Nah.
Faster collect later. Faster collect later.
Nah, for real. Like when we get more traction, I'm gonna start posting like you know, or whatever, you know, if anybody wants to, you know, contribute to tomorrow's lunch or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Brother, be hungry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you know this thing that, you know, like entertainment has been deregulated, you know, so if you're getting value from anybody, I think it's right that you should give to them. You
Yeah,
know, like I try to.
yeah, they should give the meat.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's a good thing. It's a good thing to give. Like I give to content creators that that I like. I mean, like just here and there. But I'm not begging. I'm not saying. I'm just encouraging people. Like because there's so much junk on mainstream media. So if you get value from somebody, just it's not gonna hurt to just drop a little something, for them. But even if you don't want to drop a little something, just at least like it and share it. You know what I'm saying? That don't cost you nothing. So anyway, all right, Ant man, I'm gonna let you get back to the white, bro.
Go ahead, man. We about to go get something to eat, man. You know what I'm saying? Have a good Friday. But you make sure you have a blessing, brother. You already know what it is.
All right, you too, man. Y'all have fun. Be safe. All right, man.